I'm going to try not to be too distracted by the birds outside the window. Hi, Diamond Girl. How are you? How are you? So, we are live on all the channels. We are streaming on both. How are you? And whoever else is there, please say hi. Let me know where you're from. What do we want to do today? Do we want to check in with the cards? My nose is cold. It's cold in Canada. It's cold in Alberta anyway. I don't know about the rest of Canada. I don't think it's all that cold everywhere else, but it is definitely chilly here. So my nose is actually cold. We could check in if maybe we'll see. Okay. So lately, is it well, let's imagine together that we've got this big bonfire. It's got a big, huge flame. Everybody's walking up around it, and we're just, you can feel yourself kind of loosen up a little bit, because you know how you tighten up when you're cold, right? So we can see that big bonfire between us, and we just start to stand upright a little bit more, and we're like, yeah, this feels good. This feels good. This is nice warm. I don't feel like you have to huddle it anymore. You're just kind of stepping back and enjoying it. You can picture that really well. Oh, hi. That's beautiful. That's awesome. That's awesome. Much nicer weather where you are. Much nicer weather. I'm sure your sister tells you about it all the time, especially coming into the winter months. Someone was telling me that we're supposed to have a cold winter. That doesn't make me too excited. But the bonus is I love my house and I love my property. So if I've got to be cold somewhere, at least I'm cold here. So that's a good thing. I work from home. So that means that besides walking my dog, I don't have to go outside. My dog needs to be walked. But when it gets really, really, really cold, he doesn't want to be out there long either. I put a sweater on him when it's -10 or below. His sweater has a squirrel on it, and he got a hole in it. So now I gotta patch it because that's what life with dogs is like. He needs some booties. He needs some booties when it gets colder. It's almost at that point now where he could probably use a pair. The bonus is that he's not walking on cement or anything like that. It's just, he's out in fields or wooded areas or the driveway. So it's a different construction materials. It's much colder. It's much colder on cement, right? So we're going to continue our talking about Krystic Astrology, which is the combination of true Sidereal and the truth about how the astrology, like the signs and the planets and all of that. So it's just the divine truth. That's what Krystic really, in simplest forms would be, is the divine truth. The reason why I transitioned, so I've done a lot of different things in my life. Anyone that's followed me for a long time can tell you that. I was a nurse for over 20 years. I flew around the world as a flight nurse for 7 of them. I worked in Emerge. I worked in a lot of different places, actually. I retired from that to start this company, but I also did many other things as well along the way. A lot of things. So I'm here and now teaching this on the way to here. I've done a lot, and I think many of us have, right? When you grow up as someone that's experienced trauma, I think we're seeking so much to find out who we are, to untangle the mess, right? Where we really gravitate towards maybe personality tests and things like that. So there's been a lot. There's like the Myers-Briggs, there's the Enneagram, there's so many. What color is your parachute, I think is, there's so many. And we really like to categorize people. We really like to put people in boxes and put labels on things. And Anyway, on the way through, I got into astrology and I got into moonology. And then I used to do divine feminine healing circles on the new moon and on the full moon. And I used to provide so much content on that. And I moved away from that for a while, but I got into human design, I got into gene keys. And so that just really delved into a deeper way of looking at your birth information, your natal chart, and stuff like that. But when it came to astrology, I found true sidereal at one point. And what true sidereal is, yeah, I'm a bit of a brainiac, but in a like I love learning things. I like and I like finding out the truth. So I dig for that kind of truth, right? And so when I found out that true sidereal is what the planets are actually doing in the sky at this present time, and that the tropical or seasonal astrology that we're familiar with in mainstream, that's based on everything being frozen about 2,000 years ago. And if you actually check what was happening in the sky on the day that you were born, you'd find that you're probably in a different sign, like your sun sign. Everything's different. And for me, I was the whole time super Sagittarius. Like that was one of my claims, right? And I just, I lived everything thinking that, I was this big fire sign. And then I found true sidereal, and I actually looked at the night sky, actually the day sky, at the time when I was born. And I was born in Ophiuchus, which is also something that they took out of mainstream astrology. They took out the 13th sign. So I just don't want to operate in anything but the truth. So to me, the truth is there were 13 signs. That's the original truth. There were, what the sky was at the time is important. Like it's the truth. And when I think about how life is very distorted, like we get the information, we get those little slivers of truth, but there's a whole bunch of lies or misinformation or distortions that we're being fed, because that keeps us from knowing how incredibly powerful and amazing that we are as divine beings. So if they keep us separated from that, they can keep us controlled. It's easy to manipulate somebody that doesn't realize they have a soul, right? But when you connect to your soul, then all of a sudden that changes everything. You can't be manipulated then, right? Why was what removed? The 13th sign? Probably to distort things, right? I know there's more to it than that. Like there's a story that's written about it that makes it sound much better than that, right? They have their curated version of why. Hi, Carol. They have their curated version of why, right? But then there's the truth that's underneath of it. At the end of the day, what happens is, and I don't know if you're familiar with looshing, right? But looshing is when we are putting our energy, like all of our attention and awareness into something, and we're doing it incorrectly. So there is a seepage of energy. Like we give away the energy is what happens. And they harvest that energy. They harness it. I mean, energy is what is ruling the world, right? Our attention is energy. Our money is energy. It's just a different form of it, right? So if we're doing rituals aligned with what we're being told, which is not what the sky is actually reporting to us, then we're not in alignment, and we're not doing what's right for the planet, for whatever's going on, right? Yeah, you can create boundaries for yourself energetically. You can do a lot of that stuff. So when we're doing things underneath the sky, like the last new moon that happened in mainstream, it was the new moon in Scorpio. And Scorpio is all about transformation, death and rebirth. And there's a lot of negativity that's put into every single sign and every single planet. There's these distortions. And the reason why distortions are put in there is because when you adopt the label, so when I say I'm Sagittarius, and I know that Sagittarius is supposed to be this free loving, like wild spirit, really blunt. And am I that way, or do I become that way because I adopt the label that I've been given? Right? So there's questions around that. If you believe that you're an empath, let's say, you hear something and you're like, yep, that's me, that defines me right there, and then you jump into that box. If you're not careful, you might be adopting a label with all the other parts of it, because maybe you think, well, because I'm an empath, that means that I have lax boundaries. So then you make yourself porous because you think, I have lax boundaries. Like, you code that into your reality. You just said it. I have lax boundaries. Ta-da! Right? So that's where we become very, very powerful, and we have to be very conscious of what we're saying and what we're doing. And we also have to be aware of what the truth is. So the truth is what's happening in the sky is what's happening in the sky. So I became very, very passionate about true sidereal and learning about myself through that lens. Krystic astrology looks at your soul stream. It's really how you're here to express yourself in this incarnation. And it gives you a much different outlook on yourself. It's not a personality test. It's not anything like that. It's a very, very deep thing. So I do provide those readings, but I'm not here to talk about that today. I'm here to actually just talk about what the planets are doing today to give you an understanding of that so that you learn. In March, I'm going to be teaching Krystic astrology so that you can learn how to do readings and stuff yourself. Whether you're doing it for yourself to allow it to help guide your life, or you want to read for other people, that's what the course is going to be designed for. Okay, but let's look at the sky for today. Now, the last couple of days, although we've had the sun in Scorpio, and the sun will be in Scorpio until, I wrote it all down, guys. I did this research this morning. I looked at when every single planet is going to transit and then into the next sign. So the sun is going into Ophiuchus on November 29th, which is actually Saturday. So this Saturday, we'll have the sun in Ophiuchus. And I'll get to talk about that, which I love because I have a sun in Ophiuchus. That's my sign. And let's see, where's our next changes. On the 29th, the moon also moves from what it is in now, which is Aquarius. It moves into Pisces. So we have two changes on the 29th. We also have other changes coming up on December 2nd. Venus moves from Libra into Scorpio. And then on the 13th, Mercury moves from Libra into Scorpio. Oh, and on the 10th, Mars moves from Ophiuchus into Sagittarius. So those are the upcoming changes. And those are more of the inner planets, right? When we get to the outer planets, they're moving, in 2026, a few in January, June, and then, like 30, 33, there's some that are way out there, right? And I did confirm, because I talked about this yesterday, but I confirmed it because I couldn't give you the exact date. So when I look at the sky live and I navigate forward and shift the planets in, on the Sky Live app on the internet, when I roll that forward, Pluto moves into the sign of Aquarius. So we're not in the season of Aquarius. Pluto moves into the sign of Aquarius on January 21st of 2040 at 8:17 a.m. So we're a long way from Aquarius season, but we are in Capricorn season, and that's a beautiful season anyway, because I'll talk about that when I go through the celestial report. My tea had to be heated up a little bit. It had gotten cold. And it's perfect now. Okay, so we have our sun in Scorpio. The last couple of days, we've had our moon in Capricorn, but today it moved into Aquarius. So we do have a change in everything. Okay, so with the sun in Scorpio, this is the Phoenix Gate, the inner resurrection flame. So Scorpio continues to strip illusion. That's what Scorpio likes to do. It reveals the truth. So today, though, because now it's transition, like I said, the moon into Aquarius, this creates a purification energy, and this is mentally or energetically. So look out for those. New thoughts arise from old soul truths. Hi, Anon. Right? So the Krystic flame for this particular part is to let the shadow speak its final word, then rise. Okay. Aquarius is, they're about blazing a new path, very expansive energy. So let go of the old, or whatever has been brought to light as a pattern or as something that you need to let go of it. Happy Thanksgiving. Is it Thanksgiving in the US today? If so, I should probably wish some of my friends in the States happy Thanksgiving. I don't pay attention to the calendar. Oh my God. How removed from hello, how are you? How removed am I from stuff when I don't know that? That's hilarious. But I mean, I am Canadian, so I get that at least a little bit of a, but still, oh my God, I have to wish my friends a happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I wouldn't know if I was living in the States right now either. I still wouldn't know. I still wouldn't know. That's not what I'm on here to do right now. I'm here to teach some Krystic astrology. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the sign of Scorpio. Okay. Many blessings to all of my friends who are celebrating Thanksgiving today. I truly hope that you're having a wonderful time celebrating it, however you celebrate it. Right. I hope that there's just gratitude in your heart and some kindness as well. So in Krystic astrology, I want to talk about Scorpio a little bit because I want to give you guys a little bit of information about what I'm going to be teaching in March, and also to give you some understanding about certain things. So I figured I'd talk a little bit about Scorpio, and Scorpio is the divine flame of transformation. So in Krystic astrology, Scorpio is not just the sign of mystery and death, right? And that's how they give the information in tropical astrology, right? Scorpio is that mysterious energy. They're like the red light district, right? They are death and rebirth, but I mean, they are considered to be, very dark. And that's not the case. They are the Phoenix Gate. They are the sacred doorway of soul level resurrection. So this is where the false falls away, right? And the original flame rises, because they are the ones that ferret out the truth from the lie. So because they are the truth, the ones that find the truth, right? They burn to the illusions, and they're not afraid to delve into the shadows. And so that's a powerful energy. It's not, the way that it's been made to seem, where they make it seem like Scorpios like wearing black leather, and Scorpios in the seedy areas of town, and they really give Scorpio a kind of dark vibe, right? But that's not the way that they're meant to be. But because the label's out there, if you apply yourself to that particular label, then you're going to think that's how I should be showing up. Right? If you're someone that's a Scorpio and you don't show up like that at all, like you're just, like some Scorpio wearing red or pink. I guess pink would be different, right? Like you're a bright, sunny, cheerful, whatever, there's no mystery. You'd feel so weird. Like, why do I not fit with this Scorpio energy? Right? Well, one, because the Scorpio energy that they have us agreeing to isn't the true Scorpio energy, but two, you're probably a Libra because the signs are all off by one. So check out what Libra is, and then you'll understand why you're bubbly and wearing pink. It'll make a lot more sense at that point. So we want the false to fall away, right? I just want the truth. I just want to live like I'm supposed to live. I just want to know exactly who and what I am. I just want the truth. I'm done. I just done with lies. I'm done with all those lies that are out there. Just done with it. So Scorpio is that energy of purifying through intensity so that your truth can survive the fire. It reveals those karmic contracts, the energetic entanglements, and the hidden agreements that we're under. Like Scorpio's great energy. Like, you know, when governments are rolling through this Scorpio energy, right? That's a really good thing because then the truth's coming out. It's what happens when Scorpio's there. The hidden agreements get found out. So it invites you to reclaim your soul's sovereignty. You can't fix it and it's not about fixing because there's something wrong with you, but it's identifying where the hurt exists or where the unhealed part is or where the trauma was placed. It's understanding that that's where it is. Like you have to see it in order to transmute it. You have to feel it in order to release it. So without having Scorpio energy there to reveal those hidden things, we wouldn't heal. Like Scorpio is a major element in the healing game. So the more truth you hold, the more power you carry. When you walk in truth, right, you're carrying a lot of frequency around that is felt by everything. It's not just you, it's the earth, right? The earth feels it. The beings around you feel it. So, you know, it's not just affecting you, it's affecting everyone when you stand in that light. So Scorpio is not darkness. That's not what Scorpio means in truth, right? It's not that. It is what devours the false light so that only the living flame remains. And that's very transmutive energy. And that's what Scorpio is. So Scorpio initiates the inner temple through fire. And in our March class, we're going to decode the full 13 sign system, how the Phoenix Gate differs from the Scorpion archetype, and how this frequency anchors Oversoul restoration. So it's a pretty powerful sign, and it's a really awesome course. It's got a lot of information in it. My thing is making sure I don't go overboard because I just really like to educate. So I get excited when I'm teaching stuff that's really aligned, like everybody does. And that's what we want to be, is aligned. We want to attain that completely perfect alignment at 2222 on the StreamYard broadcast, right? Perfect alignment, balanced. 4 people, that's another balance. It's all balance. Okay, let's talk about the rest of the planets. I won't take as long in all of them because many of them are repeats every day because they don't transit for quite some time, right? Some of them can be in signs for years. And some of them are in signs for days, right? So it's just how they're transiting through the signs. So the moon is in Aquarius now. That's a change from yesterday. Yesterday it was in Capricorn. It actually transited into Aquarius around 8 a.m. my time, which would have been different times for everybody here, unless you're in Alberta or Mountain Time. So this represents the visionary waters, and it's the Oversoul frequency mirror. So Aquarius is powerful energy. The moon in Aquarius, which is your emotional landscape, elevates your emotional body into the collective field, because Aquarius is collective energy. It's humanitarian, right? So you're more attuned to future timelines, soul groups, and planetary remembrance, because those are key elements in Aquarius. So your Krystic insight, or the way that you explore this moon underneath true Aquarius, is which vision lives inside you that others haven't yet seen. So what's your vision? You don't have to share it here, but at least voice it to yourself. Maybe journal on it later. What is the vision that you have that you haven't shown to others yet? So we still have Mercury in Libra, which is the sacred word and harmonizer of thought. And Mercury still walks the halls of divine dialogue, but now the Aquarius moon adds quantum clarity. because your thoughts and your emotions go together. So the Mercury and the moon are very connected. Okay, so there's a daily triad that you should check in on, and that is the moon with Mercury and Venus, because Venus is your attraction and your relationships. So when we consult that triad every day, we can determine how the energies are going to impact us, and how best to move through those energies, how best to apply ourselves. And so right now we have both of them in Libra. So there's a lot of balance and harmony through both our thoughts and communication, and also our desires and relationships are coming into harmony and balance. So we have the Krystic question, which is, can you speak across timelines with integrity? And this is just owning exactly who and what you are, and it's a very powerful question for you. So we have Venus in Libra, as I was saying, which is beauty through symmetry. It's all that balance energy that Venus brings, or that I should say that Libra brings. But Venus is at home in Libra, and this is the feminine restoration. Venus here says align first, then magnetize. Because if you're not in alignment, you're magnetizing everything to the wrong thing. And why do you want to do that? Right? Or if you're not in alignment and you're trying to magnetize things, the fact that you're not in alignment means you're not going to be successful in magnetizing things. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. And Venus in Libra can help you attain that. So we have Mars in Ophiuchus, and as I was saying, Mars switches from Ophiuchus to Sagittarius December 10th, so not too far off. I can't believe it's almost December, guys. Like, where did 2025 go? I just, it feels like blinked and it was gone. Like, it went really fast. All right, so we've got Mars in Ophiuchus. This is the flame in action, the sacred warrior path. Mars continues his serpent fire expression. So remember, Mars represents the divine masculine energy. It really is that forward movement, whereas Venus is more the divine feminine energy. So Mars continues his serpent fire expression, and you're being asked to lead through transmutation, not resistance. Fire is the energy that's meant to transmute things. It's meant to reveal the truth and get rid of the false, right? Like it's transmutation energy, but we're not utilizing it like that. So we've got the question for you on that fire is, does your action liberate or does it bind? So what are you doing? Are you liberating yourself or are you binding yourself to something? And sometimes we do that without realizing it, and it's not in alignment with us, right? So just be careful what you're committing to, and that it is in alignment with you, and it's not for any other reasons. Like you've been told you have to do that. We talked about that yesterday. All right, so we've got Jupiter in Gemini. So Jupiter's in its home planet as well, and that's the twin flame of thought, conscious learning. So what you teach must now evolve. Gemini's duality is being bridged by Jupiter's call to higher learning. Jupiter is home in Sagittarius as well. So there's a duality between Sagittarius and Gemini. They're opposite on the wheel. So there's that opposition that exists there, although these two are more common, they have more in common than they do different. And so this duality that Gemini has, though, is Gemini has the ability to hold space for two separate topics being true simultaneously. And when you get down to it, there are a lot of things that are both true at the same time, even though they don't seem like they can hold space together. So you have to speak as one who remembers, not as one who debates, right? Once you get into debating, then you're arguing, right? You start to get into, it just evolves from there. You're just speaking your truth, and that's it. If you don't leave it open to debate, it's a very firm, there's no room for debate. There's no room for my decisions to change. There's no room for, for arguments to ensue, because you're in control of your emotions. So Saturn in Aquarius, this is the crystal law, the builder of timelines. And Saturn here is your sacred schedule keeper, reminding you to build vision-aligned structures. Saturn is responsibility, and Aquarius is about the future. So Aquarius is going to be looking forward to the future and saying, what do I need to build today so that I have structure in the future? What is revolutionary? This may make you step out of your comfort zone and start doing those things, those dreams that you have that you haven't embarked on. Maybe you'll take it now and you'll do it because of having Saturn in that Aquarius space. So the Krystic structure here is that discipline is not punishment. And many of us were taught that through trauma and through society. We were taught that discipline is punishment. And so when we have to discipline ourselves and stay consistent with stuff, we have a difficult time doing that, because to us, we're being punished. And you have to heal that so you can move beyond it, because discipline is not punishment. We had a beautiful saying the other day, which I actually am posting today as a part of my content, but the saying is, discipline is devotion to your highest frequency. If you think of it that way, the changes that you're going to make in your life are huge. It's just like if you talk to yourself with love. I started making a ritual before I go live. I go in and I just spend a few minutes by myself in my own space, and I close my eyes and I just say nice things to myself. And, I put myself in a great space and come out here, because I truly do love myself, and you should love yourself too. And if you don't, we can work on that. Let's get there. So discipline is not punishment. It is protection for the sacred, right? If you want something, you've got to be disciplined to pursue it. If you want to run a marathon, you have to be disciplined in running every day. You're not just going to jump up one day and run 26 kilometers and expect to complete that run, or expect to do it and not be wrecked for a long time after it, right? Running a marathon is a very difficult thing to do. So that's one of the things that you need to do. You need to be disciplined. You need to have that devotion to what it is that you're seeking. If you want to run a marathon, you have to be devoted every day to get up and run that marathon and run, so that you can prepare for that. And it's no different with anything else. And, if you want to be something, if you want some change in your life, right? And I talked with my friend about this. It's for me as well. I'm somebody who was not inherently clean. I have ADHD, possibly on the spectrum. I don't know. It's whatever. It's whatever. I'm trying to get away from labels. So that's where my hesitancy to say anything about it is. But I have been diagnosed with ADHD. And that, along with the concepts of cleaning being related to punishment, because my mom, she wasn't doing anything on purpose, but when she would threaten you, you either get outside and find something to do, or I'm going to find something for you to do and you're not going to like it. And that not going to like it part was always cleaning. Like, that's what she was threatening us with. What she was threatening was us with a good time cleaning. And, it's just, so then I had to just heal that. And I have. And last night, as I finished cleaning the kitchen, and I was just like, so heal what is preventing you from being the person or having the life that you want to have. Work on that. And then if it's something to do with language, right? Instead, prior to moving here, I was doing a lot of work with telling myself to give everything a place. And then I was saying over and over again that put it in its place. Don't sit it down, put it away. right? Don't sit it down, put it away. And if everything has a place, it can go in its space. So there's some programming that you can do for yourself as well. If it's something that you're not super on board with right away and you're trying to get over that. So then start talking to yourself about how you love exercise, how you love being fit, that you love your body. Love your body like it is right now. Start at least there by talking good about yourself and, pouring love into yourself. So yeah. I went on a real good tangent on that one, and I'm going to try to get back to, so it's discipline. There is discipline, right? Discipline is devotion, though. It's not punishment. If we can heal that part of us to think that, then we'll show up more consistently for ourselves and we'll make better progress towards the future that we want. And if you want to have a future being a certain thing, so if you want a fit future, you want to be fit in your future, then you have to start moving your body today. You have to start looking at what you're eating today. You have to, make those choices now. So who you want to be today, you have to adopt the habits of now. You can adopt one at a time, not all of them all at once, but at least start somewhere. All right, so we've got Uranus and Taurus, and that is the shock of the real. Body code liberation. The nervous system is continuing to be upgraded. And so expect some revelations through the body, and possibly today you're going to get some good revelations through the body. And there's a question that you can ask yourself that may help to move that through your body. And that can be, what truth is your body holding that your mind has forgotten? And that's a big one, because there's many of us that are storing memories somatically that we haven't born. We do not have. But you can add on the end of that, if it makes you feel better, you can add on the end of that, what truth is my body holding that my mind has forgotten, that is in alignment and at the energetic level for me to handle right now, right? So it's in alignment with me in this moment, and then energetically I can handle whatever this is, this truth that my body's holding on to. Okay, so you can put a little addition on the end of that to say that it's only what's in alignment with you at this time, and energetically it won't be something that overwhelms you if you're worried that it's going to give you some memory that you have repressed of trauma, right? And so that can be a good way to soften that. So then we've got Neptune in Pisces, and this is oceanic awakening and the veil dissolver. So Neptune is heightening dreams and visions and etheric downloads. So if you're someone that's very open, you may be receiving more downloads than usual now. The one instruction is always make sure that you're clear about what you're channeling. Make sure that you're clear with your body. You're really discerning, because your discernment is the lock. That's what decides what comes in and what you listen, what you're hearing, right? If you're only tuned in, if you're tuned into your oversoul and in alignment with that, and you're opening yourself to hear and then closing yourself to be accessed, that's proper spiritual practice. But many of us just run around, just open channels, just saying, yeah, I'll just pick up anything. And when you hear something, you just immediately think it must be my guide, or it must be my higher self, or whatever, or we just downplay it and say, I just thought that, so it's important to discern, right? So then we have Pluto in Capricorn. Like I said, we're not in Aquarius season yet. We don't reach that till 2040. Hello, Diana. How are you, Murph? So this is the underworld authority rebuilding from the root. Hi, Alien T. How are you, love? So sitting with the deeper systemic deconstruction. So this is where we're getting the energy. This is where the stuff is falling. It's not through the revolutionary energy of Aquarius. It's through Capricorn demanding integrity, Capricorn demanding truth and structures, right? So this is why those structures are collapsing, which is powerful. So today's gift is sovereignty reclaimed through mental clarity. It's a really powerful energy with Capricorn in Pluto. And like I said, that maintains, or Pluto stays in Capricorn until January 21st, 2040 at 8:17 a.m. Like, so it's way out there, way out there. And if it did change, I'm pretty sure it's not changing by like, 15, 20 years, right? I'm pretty sure it's not going to just jump into, just boom, jump into Aquarius. If it does, something big's happened, you guys. Like, it shouldn't transit that fast. That'd be kind of scary. What did Pluto do? All right, so our celestial synthesis is the Sun in Scorpio and Mars in Ophiuchus. So they are very close signs, right? Ophiuchus is that sign that comes in between Scorpio and Sagittarius that they took out. The way that they phrase it would be more along the lines of, we removed it because, like Pluto, it was too small to be classified as a planet, and then they put it back, and then it could have been that. There are some smaller constellations that do pick up every now and then, and I'll talk about them at different points in time and what they actually mean. And hi, Lauren. Hello, sweetheart. How are you? Okay, so we've got the Sun in Scorpio and the Moon, and Mars in Ophiuchus. And what these two do, what these two do is it's the karmic liberation through sacred fire. Mars is very forward action, and Ophiuchus is that resurrection. And Scorpio is rebirth, and the truth coming to the surface. So there's no more illusions, and we're moving forward in that space of resurrection. So we're really clearing karma. And that's a lot of fire energy, because Ophiuchus shows up as a blend between water and fire. It's an interesting sign, and we'll talk more about that as we process through. The Sun's going to be in Ophiuchus on November 29th. So I'll talk about it on Saturday. Maybe I'll even do a surprise live on Saturday just to talk about the celestial. Well, no, it's in Ophiuchus for a while. So we'll talk about Ophiuchus on Monday, probably. I'll do a little dive on Ophiuchus. Okay, so we got the Moon in Aquarius and Saturn in Aquarius. So that's a double, a boost of energy in Aquarius. This is timeline expansion and architectural precision. So this is like you're building your future. You build your future through the choices and actions that you take today. If today you're eating healthy and you continue eating healthy every day, then you're probably going to be healthy, right? Like it's one of those outcomes of that. If you start meditating every day, trying to connect to to a tree, I'm pretty sure at some point you're going to connect to that tree and you're going to have a conversation. It's just a matter of whatever you want to accomplish is a matter of devoting yourself to the practice of learning how to do that, right? That's all it is. So if you want to, be wealthy and have a big company and all of that, you have to spend the time to learn the information you have to just become that. So how do you become that? You have to become probably educated in some of the stuff, or, you have to have an understanding of how to do things. And you can be a content creator if you know how to use, your phone and can take videos and can speak. You could be a content creator. It's as simple as that. All you need is your phone. Lots of people out there making money just off a cell phone and no other products. I have a company that I've been running for 4 years, and I have a web page, and I have all these other things that I pay for and subscriptions to, all of these tools that I use for all of my content creation and education and stuff like that. But for somebody else, they could easily create money just using your phone. So you're building your life. You're choosing by the actions that you choose today. If you want to have a clean house, you have to clean your house. Just go do it. Or you have to hire somebody to clean it. Or you have to live very, very, I'm not touching nothing. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not, right? Like you have to live in one of those, like, There was this one that was all plastic. Their whole house was plastic, like everything, right? And it's like, you have to live like that. No, you're not living that. So anyway, you have to clean your house, or you have to get someone else to clean your house. Like, you have to take action, though. You have to probably hire that person to clean your house, or ask that person to clean your house. If you can get someone else to do it for free, I mean, awesome for you. But you have to do the thing. So if you want the thing, do the thing that is required for it. That's your embodiment. And that's what I've been talking about. Like, right now is the embodiment phase. This is when we're supposed to be stepping into it and saying, this is what I'm meant to do, and I'm going to do it. And I'm full in 100%. I'm trusting that, because I'm in alignment, that everything is going to align with me. Hello, love. How are you? I got to take a sip of this. I was getting so dry there, and I was like, but I kept holding on to it to keep going. Aw, I love you, Anon. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, it's a beautiful picture, isn't it? Ooh. I am so blessed, actually. I love my entire house. And this is what alignment is. And my alignment came when I chose hugs, when I chose hugs, and I jumped into that nonprofit and partnered in that. My whole life has changed. And the other part of that change has been like everything else that I've done too, right? The fact that I'm now like just being in my embodiment phase. So I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do. I'm meditating, I'm doing the breath work. I'm doing the walking. I'm interacting with nature. I'm looking at the signs. I'm reading the signs. I'm giving love to myself. I'm giving love to my space, right? Before I was starting today, I have one of those, it's a brush for lymph, and you use it on your face. So I'm like rubbing it, and I'm like, I love my body. I love my face. I love my soul. I love my space. That's exactly what I was doing. I was just, I love myself, right? And that was that was my prep to come on the air today. You have to love your life. Love your life. And if you don't love it, change it so that you do love it. Right? If you're someone that thinks you only have one life, then why are you wasting it? If you're somebody that thinks you have multiple lives, there's still a reason why you chose to come back. There's a reason. You didn't. If you think that you have multiple lives, you obviously chose it. So you came back, and why? Why did you choose it? Why did you come back? Right? You certainly didn't come back to waste it. You came back to explore it, to have fun. What we came back was to remember who and what we are and how we're meant to live. And by doing that, by peeling back the layers, remembering all of that stuff, and then embodying it, we bring heaven to earth, because our spirit is heaven and our body is earth. And that frequency on the earth is so incredibly healing for everything. Everything benefits when you're in that frequency. So we also have Mercury and Venus in Libra, which is divine balance in word, love, and magnetism. I'm out in Alberta. I'm renting a property, and it's a property, like it's on 40 acres. I absolutely love the people that I am renting from. They're wonderful, wonderful couple. And everything was synchronistic. Everything was perfectly aligned. I was looking for a place. I don't know why, but for some reason, 1.5 to 2 years of being here and really digging in on hugs for homeless felt like it was the right timeline. And when I interacted with this wonderful couple, they were like, absolutely, we need to rent out our place for 1.5 to 2 years. So the timeline was consistent between the two of us. It was perfect. When do you want to move in? I wanted to move in at the same time that they needed to move up. Perfect, right? So everything just kept aligning beautifully and came together smoothly. It was a challenging move, though. I mean, in the sense of leaving family, my youngest son, my mom, like our relationship. She's my one of my besties. One of my besties. I have a few besties, and they all know it. Someone told me I couldn't have multiple besties. I can only have one, and I was like, no, I can, and I do. Yes, I have given myself the permission to do what I enjoy and enjoy what I do. Give yourself that permission. That's beautiful. Hi, Karina. That's beautiful. I did it. I did it. So yeah, it was challenging leaving because I had some pressure about staying. But I chose me. I chose the mission. And I'm somebody that believes that. Right? I believe that I came down here for a reason. And if you believe that, then why are you delaying? Why are you not embarked on that? You just have to take one step onto the path and then just keep walking the path, right? It reveals itself to you as you continue to go. You just have to listen to yourself, right? And that's the important thing, is learning to listen to yourself. And in order to do that, you have to get rid of all the noise that's around us. Right? You have to get rid of the noise from the TV and media and news and even the radio. I spend much of my time in quiet, which is challenging when you are unhealed with trauma, because the quiet is when you're going to start to pay attention to your emotions, or your thoughts are going to go into those spaces. That's the perfect time to journal on, like, where did my thoughts go? What really happened there? How should I have been held in that moment? If I was my parent, what would I have done for me then? And then do that for yourself, right? There's so many ways that we can heal those wounds just by being kind and compassionate to ourselves, right? I need more tea. I'm glad I have water here too, because I'm probably going to need it. I feel like, I had to move through all of that trauma too. And when you go through the trauma, sometimes you come to, it's really a false light space, and you get convinced that that's where you should be, right? The healer or someone that has been through a lot of trauma and then does healing thinks all of a sudden they have to heal everybody. So then they get into this distorted energy of going around thinking, like, I'm going to help this person, I'm going to help that person, I'm going to heal this person, I'm going to heal the world, right? And you become very, very giving, and sometimes very over giving, or you cross boundaries because you think, I can heal my mom, or I can heal my son, or I can heal, or so on and so forth. Or you start to listen to somebody who's not necessarily telling you how to discern information yourself, but they're just telling you the information to believe, and their information isn't 100% true. They have enough truth in it to get you on board, but there's enough lies in it to keep you looping. So you have to be really careful when you're signing up to work with other people. Will you drain from that? Giving away energy? No, because you're not giving it from you, right? Your cup is, you keep your cup full, right? That's your number one priority, is keeping your cup full. So you give from a full cup. But the other thing is if you're sending energy out, you're channeling that through you. You're just the vessel, right? You're not the person, you shouldn't be. But that's a part of the issue too. Oftentimes when we navigate through that the unhealed to healed space, we bypass through that zone of, I'm giving the energy from me. And I did that a few times, and oh my goodness, it's not good. It can really, really drain you when you do it like that. So, but that's not how we're meant to do it. So I had to learn that. And I learned that by taking steps forward, making what you could call mistakes, learning from those mistakes, being better with my energy, guarding it, and just doing things in a way that keeps me safe. So, you have to learn those things. So Mercury and Venus, that's the divine balance in word, love, and magnetism, which is beautiful energy. This is really helping a lot of our relationships, and that's really, really awesome. I am an oracle, but it's different. I don't claim to be psychic like that. It depends on your definition, I guess, of that. Yeah. So I don't access anybody unless I check in. The other day, I'll give you an example of how it works for me. The other day, I was scrolling on social media and I read a friend's post. And when I read a friend's post, I had a wave of energy, and I received a message that was meant for her. So I connected with her and asked her, and then gave her the message. Sometimes I don't give the message. Sometimes it's not, there's some, you can feel the energy, it's not appropriate, right? Like not everybody is meant to receive that, like receive the message. They're not at the spot where they can handle the message, right? No, I mean, if somebody has, if somebody like, let's say it's, you know, your dad connected with me, right? And there's trauma there, right? It's not my business to give you a message, right? Like that kind of thing, right? So you have to navigate it. You have to navigate, and that's where the integrity comes in, right? And that's what we all should have, right? When you think about it, when I was a nurse, I couldn't just do anything. I couldn't log in and check your chart just because I felt like it. I couldn't dig into your history and look at stuff that was there. Like I had rules and regulations about what I was able to access. And if I didn't, I could be charged, right? Or, you know, at least ethically, I'm stepping out of line. I could be held accountable through my college or through my place of business. So you don't do that, right? You learn that in that space. But many of us, unfortunately, that are in the spiritual community now, we didn't take any education like that prior to. Oftentimes you can be a healer or you can be this and you can do it in, you know, in this 2-week course, and there's no talk about integrity, right? It's just, all right, there you go, off you go. Go have fun. Go play with people now. Go do what you want. Right? I trained in Curate prior to, like, and I used to work with Curate. I even had my own course at one point in time. I don't do that anymore because I'm more in alignment with what I'm meant to be teaching. But anyway, I did for a while do Curate. And one of the things that I liked about that program is that he had a compulsory trauma awareness module. And I know that because he had me teach it. And I'm not saying it for the purpose of tooting my own horn. I'm saying it because it's a good thing to have within your program. And I also created a trauma awareness course that I used to sell. I changed all of my stuff over to Anshara'El, from Mind, Body, Spirit, Healthy Self. So in that transition, I dropped a lot of the old programs that I used to have. And trauma awareness is one of the ones that I stopped really offering. But I used to teach people not just about what trauma is. It's great to have information for trauma, but it'd be really nice if you could learn how to regulate your own nervous system and assist your clients and, you know, give them some practical tools. So it was a program that taught not just the information about trauma, but practical tools. And that's why I called it trauma awareness instead of just trauma informed. So you could be registered as trauma aware as opposed to just trauma informed. But like I said, I kind of stopped teaching that because I started teaching more about your ascension pathway. And so I help guide you on that. I I do soul alignment sessions where I'll check in. I mean, there's so many things I do. There's a lot on my website. And whenever anyone has any questions or is thinking about working with me, I always suggest just go to the website and book a free call, or send me an email where you can just talk about whatever you want, and I'll connect with you and let you know. Numerology. No. I mean your soul path, like what your soul, why your soul chose to incarnate in this lifetime. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll give you information about your soul stream, like where you can where you, it. Yeah, it's pretty big. I'm going to talk about that more as we go forward, and explain it more in depth. Let's see if I have anything as. So the Krystic soul stream readings that I'm going to be doing, they are your soul's true blueprint, and it's unveiled through the actual sky. So it uses true sidereal, and then it talks about the celestial bodies and the signs and all of that. It talks about them all in the correct way, so they're not being distorted. So you're not picking up those characteristics of, well, I'm Virgo, so that means I'm a perfectionist, and I'll give and give and give and serve and serve and serve, right? And then here you are, burnt out Virgo, because you think that that's what you're supposed to be, is constantly serving other people and then critical about everything and a perfectionist. And so you're trying to be this, right? It's a lot. So it's a multidimensional reading that maps your elemental architecture, your oversoul codes, and eternal pathways of purpose. Yeah, so what I mean is the true, like the Krystic meaning of Virgo. It looks at it from that viewpoint. It looks at the true meaning of Saturn, like what Saturn's actually meant to represent in the true form, without any distortions in it. And that's what the Krystic word means, is it's beyond distortion. It's not under any religion. It's not under any dogma or anything like that. It's what exists outside of that. So when I do the Krystic soul stream, it's not astrology. It's just that I use the terminology astrology because people will understand it more underneath that. It is a big reading. So your soul stream reading reveals your true elemental architecture. It's your oversoul mission, lifetime themes, and initiation gates. Your earth body expression, your shadow alchemy and integration patterns, your highest timeline resonance, why you incarnated in this lifetime, your natural gifts, your karmic inheritance and how to transmute it, your relationship with each elemental force, and your divine technology blueprint. This is sourced from the actual sky, from true sidereal placements, from the Oversoul archives, from your lineage memories, from the Akashic blueprint, and your encoded mission design. So these readings are really life-changing, and they're big readings. So yeah, they'll be available at some point on the site. Yeah, so they're pretty big. Oh, did I finish talking about? Oh, we've got our practice of the day. We got chatting and I completely forgot. But that's okay. I like that you were asking questions. It was perfect. It's so funny that the things that they have blocked on here. All right, I need another step. So our practice of the day to harness this energy is to sit in stillness and ask, what timeline do I belong to now? Okay, that's a big question. What timeline do I belong to now? And then let the vision rise. Then we have our serpent fire movement. Now, movement can help get stagnant energy out. Movement's very powerful, right? Somatic experiencing. It was a huge part of the trauma healing that I went through and also shared and did with other people when I was doing it. So spiral the hips, right? You store a lot of energy in the hips. Hula hoop's great. A hula hoop's great if you can do it. But spiral the hips. You can even be sitting and doing this, right? You're just moving the top of your body to spiral it. So spiral your hips. And while you're doing this, you're going to chant, I am the living flame in motion. I am the living flame in motion. It's cool. I have a little wobble board that I stand on while I work, while I do my lives. So it's fun to do the wobble, to do the hits with the wobble board. It makes it very easy. All right. Then we have our triad check-in. So remember I talked about our triad, which is the moon, Mercury, and Venus, because the moon represents our emotional landscape, Mercury represents our thoughts and communication, and Venus represents our attraction, our desires, and our relationships. So these three are very key every day. The moon moves every 2.5 to 3 days through each sign, depending on the sign, because all the signs are not the same size in the sky. So it takes longer to go through some signs than it does others because they're bigger. That's just the facts, which is why we would have more people born under a certain sign than other signs. We just would, because some signs are bigger. So when we do the triad check-in, we're going to check in on the moon, which is in Aquarius, and that because our emotional landscape is in Aquarius, which is future thinking, we want to be looking towards the future or at expansion or humanitarian things. The question that I came up with you is, what future calls you emotionally? What future gets you really excited? What future makes you feel free and expressive and aligned and grounded and safe? And what does that future look like for you? Mercury in Libra, so we have a lot of balance and harmony coming from Libra. So, and that's our thoughts and communication. So we're very balanced in communication right now. What harmony needs to be spoken? Just because we should be speaking in harmony doesn't mean we are. Some of us are still operating out of trauma and reactionary spaces. So we may be saying things that we don't mean. And so if we were to speak in harmony, what needs to be spoken? With Venus in Libra, what beauty is ready to magnetize? So what are you magnetizing to yourself? The way that you feel about yourself, the way that you see yourself is the mirror that is going to reflect back what you are bringing to yourself, right? So if I believe that, my brain went into it. If I believe that I am worthy and deserving of this beautiful home, then I'm going to magnetize towards me the resources to keep this beautiful home because it's in alignment, right? So that's the beauty of the sky right now. That's what we're working with today. And that's how you work with it. Okay, so we're going to look at our Oversoul Embodiment now. So again, Oversoul Embodiment is not intuition. It is not energy work. It is not spiritual insight. Oversoul Embodiment is it's the moment that your life is directed by your highest intelligence. So when you, I was talking with my friend the other day about how it made me think how, like, when I used to play video games a lot. I used to play video games a lot, and it was part of my coping mechanism with all of my trauma. I would avoid by keeping myself numbed out and distracted, which many of us do. And so it was TV or video games, and really just living out the pattern of what I'd seen before. My parents watched a lot of TV. So I played a lot of video games, and I remember one time I was playing a video game of a character who was playing a video game. And I went, that's unsettling to me, because I realized that that is exactly what my higher self was thinking when I was playing the video game. My oversoul is playing this video game that I then am engaging in another reality through a controller. And I was like, what am I doing? Happy Thanksgiving, love. What am I doing? Right? Thanks. I'm wearing my Michael Jackson t-shirt. I went to the MJ musical, and highly recommend it to everybody. It was absolutely fantastic. So definitely, if you love the theater and are in the way of going to the theater, in the sense that you're able to do it, that's in your area, and you have the money, you have the ability, then definitely jump at it, because it was just absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend. And right back to talking again about the stuff that we were talking about. So we're doing Oversoul Embodiment, right? It's when your choices align with the version of you that remembers who you are, right? How would you live if you lived true to who you are, exactly who you are, right? It's clarity, it's calm, it is knowing. It's just a very settled, very peaceful, very grounded energy that's in your body. You're not running towards anything, and you're not running away from everything, because you're content in the moment, in the space that you're in. You're grounded in your body. You feel safe and secure, right? You know you don't have to worry about anything, because you're the creator and you're creating a beautiful reality for yourself. So there are 4 signs of genuine oversoul communication, and these 4 signs are a calm knowing, physical resonance, which can show up as signs like goosebumps, chills, stuff like that. Directive thoughts that arrive fully formed. Your oversoul isn't going, they're not giving you a little bit and then like not finishing, right? They're not going to be confusing you. They're not going to be causing you to be afraid. Your oversoul's not going to scare you. It's going to direct you. Like, think about a calm, steady direction, not being pushed, not being dragged, not that way. It's like you just move in the direction. You just move in that right direction because you're listening to yourself. It's emotional neutrality. You're no longer invested in the show that's out there. You're not, or when you get a channel through, the channel doesn't come in and scare you, right? Which is why I said earlier with your oversoul's not going to scare you. They want the absolute best for you. They planned this, they had you made the decision to do this, right? So just engage with the decision maker that, ultimately made this decision, and allow them the ability to communicate to you, so you can do what you came here to do with ease, with ease. So the oversoul does not panic. It does not insist. It does not pressure, right? It just instructs, right? If somebody in your life came up to you and was like, you have to do this, Anon, you have to do this. It's absolutely essential that you do this. You have to do this. If you don't do this, Anon, like, bad things are going to happen to other people. Like, this is not fair. Like, how could you do that? That's not your oversoul would never, never do that. Would never ask you in such a way, right? It would never instruct you. It wouldn't have to. And if someone was to tell you to, or try to convince you to do things, if you were like, no, thank you, that's not for me. And they're like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It must be for you. Or, like, that's not for you. That person's not on your side. That's not you. And that's definitely not in alignment with your oversoul, because they just tell you straight, clear, direct, no games. All right. So we're going to place our hand on our chest. All right. Right on our chest. We're going to take a nice deep breath in and out. If you haven't found the quiet, still space, take another one. And out. If you're still a little bit high, not quite in your body yet, take one more. Nice deep breath in. And out. Now you're going to ask yourself, what does my oversoul want me to know today? Feel the first signal that arises. That is your oversoul. Right? How nice is that? So, how does the sky today support your oversoul? The sun in Scorpio reveals, the moon in Aquarius liberates, and together they create a pathway for embodiment. And Scorpio shows you the truth. Aquarius sets you free from what no longer matches your future. It helps you break old cycles, old circuitry, and activate new inner patterns. This is a day for choosing alignment, vision, innovation, and truth. That's what Aquarius and Scorpio bring. Do you know what I'm going to get you to do? You know what you should do? You should just embrace it. It's the very, very beginning of a new season of snow and cold, right? So just embrace it. Just embrace it. It's going to be cold. There's going to be snow. There's going to be lots of snow, right? Just love it. Enjoy the fact that you don't have to drive in it today or something. Find the light that's there, right? I love you. All right, got my water over there. All right, so Bridge to Light Phase 2 is beginning January 9th, 2026. Love you. This round is all about embodiment. It's not concepts, it's not theories, it's embodiment. So this is about putting your money where your mouth is. It's taking action, right? So if you feel a pull in your chest or a knowing in your body when I talk about all of this stuff, then stay close, because your oversoul is preparing you for this path, like it is. And I think more and more and more of us are getting prepared to say, you know what, I'm done playing around. You know, we can live underneath and there's a lot of people that talk about how you came down here to have a human experience. But is that true? Or did we come down here to marry our spirit to our body so that we bring heaven to earth? Is that what we really wanted to do? Because I feel like that's more aligned with what we did. I don't think that we left our spiritual forms to come here and have a very material existence with no connection to our higher self or our oversoul, or to live in a way that is harmonious to that part of us, right? So we obviously, when we incarnate down here, we want to bring our soul into the equation, which that's how we bring heaven to earth, is by marrying our oversoul into our body. And you have to start communicating with yourself. There has to be connection. And we're all connected. We're all connected. What I do for me, it helps you too, right? The more that I awaken, or the more that I stand in my truth, the more that I give you the power to stand in your truth, the more truth that resonates from my body, the more that it awakens everything or lightens everything up around me. It's very powerful. 222 on the time. 222. Right? It's perfect. So you are not becoming your oversoul. You are remembering it. Okay, you're remembering your oversoul. Today is the perfect day for alignment, liberation, and truth. Okay. All right. I have my little script that I wrote that I just want to check in and see if I missed anything that I wanted to highlight in today's live. The birdies are all active outside my window. My dog's completely out, so he's having a good old sleep. There's no rush to jump off. All right, so today is deeply intelligent, visionary, soul anchoring day. We're under a Scorpio sun and an Aquarius moon. This blends depth with clarity and healing with higher vision. This energy supports oversoul embodiment, intuitive precision, and the remembrance of the timeline you are actually meant to walk. And what we share today directly prepares the field for Bridge to Light Phase 2, which is opening on January 9th. So let me check and see if there's anything I missed. The sun in Scorpio is continuing the purification process. It reveals what is true. It dissolves what is false. It resurrects what is real within you. Today, this purification may happen in thought, memory, or insight. Old truths resurface with new clarity. So the Krystic flame is let the shadow speak its final word, then rise. Okay? The moon in Aquarius. The moon in Aquarius elevates your emotional field into vision. The moon is future-orientated, soul-connected, and timeline opening. It reveals the version of you that already exists at the next octave. Are you ready to step into that level? So your Krystic insight was, which vision lives inside you that others have not yet seen? So take a moment and reflect on that question and see what vision comes up. Maybe you're going to start taking action on it. With Mercury and Libra, it's harmonized thought, balanced communication, and quantum clarity when speaking the truth. So the Krystic question is, can I speak across timelines with integrity? Venus in Libra is beauty through symmetry, love through alignment. Your heart becomes precise. When you align, you magnetize. So Mars in Ophiuchus. Actually, I want to talk about that again. So when we're talking about alignment and magnetization, think of alignment like turning a tap full open, right? When a tap is full open, there's like a pin. Let's say that this is the way it operates, that there's a pin that slides across and completely blocks the hole. And as you pull it back, it opens up. So there's that little, try to find a way that I can show this. Oh, maybe with the white paper. The white paper might help. Okay. So if you have your tap, and as you open your tap, it opens up the hole. A little bit can come out, a lot can come out, a lot more can come out, a lot more can come out, and then, it's fully open. Fully opened is alignment. Fully open is the alignment. If you're not in alignment, then you're narrowing the field of what you can receive. You're not going to receive everything that you're meant to, right? So that alignment needs to happen. And sometimes we're not in alignment because we're not doing things such as eating right. You know, we're not paying attention to the signals in our body. We're not listening to our oversoul. We're not making the decisions that take us in the direction that we're meant to go because we're afraid, right? Yeah, we're not taking action on things. We live in that fear or that lovely self-sabotage, right? Or we think we have that, what's it called? Imposter syndrome. That's what it is, right? So we think, who am I to do that? You just have to know you are you to do that, and you should be doing it. We've got Venus in Libra, okay? So when you align, you magnetize. We've got Mars in Ophiuchus, which is the sacred warrior. That is that serpent fire in motion. That's action that heals. So the Krystic fire was, does your action liberate or does it bind you to the past? So what are you doing each day? Are you doing the same things that you were doing yesterday, expecting something different tomorrow? Because it's not going to change until you change. You can only create something different if you do something different. If you keep doing the same things, expect the same results, right? So if you, let's say we use the run a marathon, because I like that one because it's, you know, it's an easy one for everyone to understand. If you're running a marathon and you want to run a marathon, but you haven't even started running at all, then how are you going to run the marathon? Right? You can't get there if you don't start. You have to take action. Why don't I believe? Why don't I believe in what? Why don't I believe in what? That's a big. Oh, I believe in me. I believe me more than anything. All right, so we've got Jupiter in Gemini, and Jupiter in Gemini is multidimensional learning. It's duality bridged. It's teaching from remembrance. We're not debating the truth, right? That's not, you don't have to. So just speak as one who remembers. When you remember, just speak the truth. We have Saturn in Aquarius. This is the timeline architecture, long-term vision, and sacred discipline. Discipline is protection for the sacred. And remember what we said a couple of days ago? One of our favorite lines of the week actually is discipline is devotion to your highest frequency, right? If we have to stop looking at discipline as punishment and heal whatever it is in us that feels that way about it, and recognize that discipline is devotion, right? If you want to run a marathon, you have to be devoted to getting up and running every day. You have to be devoted to increasing the distance that you're running so that you can eventually get to 26 kilometers. You can't just get up tomorrow and go run. I can tell you can't, because I did it before. I got up after not having run for a long time. I used to run every day. So, I mean, I had some muscle memory, but I hadn't run in years, and I decided to just go run a 5K and not do any practice for it. So for 3 days, I was like, oh, I was so sore. I was so sore. And it was very, very uncomfortable. I paid dearly for that mistake in thinking I could just get up and run. And so, you know, you have to be devoted. You have to be devoted to taking steps. You have to be devoted to increasing, you know, like the distance that you're going when we're looking at it as a marathon thing. I have a whole school. I have a whole bunch of membership groups. I have education programs, mini courses, books. I'm publishing in December, I think, my 18th and 19th books. I've been putting it places. I'm putting it lots of places. All right, so we've got, good. I look forward to it. We've got Uranus and Taurus. This is body-based revelation, somatic liberation. This is why we were moving our bodies earlier too, right? We have to move that energy out of those spaces that we've stored it, because your issues are in your tissues, believe it or not. And truth through sensation. Bye, Walter. Truth through sensation. That's how you're going to learn to discern things, is through the sensations in your body, by listening with more than just your ears, listening with your whole self, right? Then we've got Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces are your dreams are clarified, your symbols are reorganized, and mystic memory returning. The Krystic insight is anchor, do not float, right? So you want to make sure that you're anchored into your discernment, that you're clear on what it is that you're discerning. You're not running it through a false system, because then the information you're getting is just false, and you don't want to be doing that to yourself. And then we got Pluto and Capricorn, which is our authority reclaimed. This one makes me very happy. It's the mind purified and fear dethroned. The Krystic mandate is to restore the throne of thought to the Oversoul. So we need to be doing that more. So everybody, it's important for us to be embodying our Oversoul. And if you're not familiar with that, I do have a mini class that's available on my website for $22.22 Canadian. I don't know if there's taxes on that, but it's under $25 Canadian that you can purchase. It comes with a video, and it comes with a PDF that you can work alongside. I might even make, well, I'm going to do that at some point, but anyway, that's available on my website on the shop, under the shop tab. I guess we can call it a top tab, or the shop, in the shop. It's in the shop. We talked about the synthesis. We talked about our Oversoul, about how the most people live from survival programming. Right? From reaction, protection, memory, and fear. That's how most people in the world are living. Oversoul embodiment is different because it's calm, it's clear, it's unshakable. It does not argue, it does not panic, it instructs, right? So it's a much different energy when you're operating from your Oversoul. When the Oversoul leads your life, you move differently. You choose differently, you breathe differently. It's very different energy. So you come from the space of calm knowing. That's how your Oversoul speaks. It's clarity without tension. It also speaks with physical resonance. That can be warmth, it can be expansion, it can be the feeling of yes. You could even do the body sway test and allow yourself to sway forward, or check and see. Ask yourself if you're, to show me what yes is in my body, and then watch what your body does. And, you may be like me and sway forward. You're going to ask for your Oversoul to show you what a no is in your body. And for me, it's a leaning back. Whoa, I forgot I'm on my wobble board. That was a little bit unsafe. I'm learning to surf, apparently. Hi, Texie. How are you, love? Hi, Scorpio. Nice to see you. Physical resonance. You've got that warmth, the expansion, and a yes in the chest. You've got directive thought, and this arrives fully formed. There's no debate. It's just truth. You're not having going through this back and forth. Hi, Goddess Snea. I have a question for you, actually. I'm curious. I'm curious. If you stick around, you might not, but if you do. And then you've got emotional neutrality. Did you donate to Hugs, love? Oh, thank you. Did you donate to Hugs? Was it you? I received a donation, and okay, there's a lady donated, and I mean, it was so, I'll explain to you. Her first name is Nea, and her last name started with an S. So I wondered if you weren't being a little sneaky with your name. And it was like your last name with your first name, right? Lowercase. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure like I know her name, but it was just interesting that it worked out that way. So that's really cool. Okay, awesome. I didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but I had to ask because, if you did, I would, celebrate that with you as well, because that's an awesome thing too. All right. So emotional neutrality, no excitement, no panic, just clear direction. You're not panicked about it. You're not scared about it. As much as the move that I was making to come from Ontario here was hard on my heart, because I was leaving my mom, who had become my best friend because we'd healed so much of our trauma together, or to leave my son, who is another one of my best friends. Like, I love my youngest son and the rest of my family that's there. Plus the fact that I'm closer to my family in Nova Scotia when I'm in Ontario, proximity, right? So it was a really hard move for those reasons, but I still knew it was the right decision. Everything aligned perfectly, and that's how you know. When you're aligned, you just magnetize all those things to you. So get into alignment. And how do you do that? You start listening to your oversoul. You start embodying and doing the things that you're supposed to do. If you want to run a marathon, start running. Right? So if it feels frantic, pressured, or urgent, it is not your oversoul. Right? Your oversoul isn't going to pressure you. It doesn't have to do that. It's like, this is what we're going to do. This is what we should do. And that's, your free choice still. You have free range until you start listening and you start engaging and making it a practice. So we're going to do this again. Right? We're going to ask another question though. Okay. So we did it before where we put our hand on our chest. You can put both your hands on your chest if you'd like. You can close your eyes to just, close off some of your senses, right? So you're focused more on other senses. Just close your eyes and you're going to do your deep centering breaths, right? A nice deep inhale all the way into your tummy, all the way up to your collarbones. And when you exhale, nice and slow. When you're taking these nice deep breaths, you want to be focusing on the space that's coming up around you and within you. And we usually get to a really good spot after we take 3 of those breaths. Okay. And those 3 breaths, when we take them, we'll get into that nice calm spot. And you're going to ask yourself this question. Okay. What truth is available to me right now? So what truth is available to you right now? How did that feel? Because you're not meant to think, you're just meant to feel, right? What you felt was your oversoul, the very first thing that you felt, because it's going to arrive fast. To connect and embody. How beautiful is that? So, to tidy up today, Scorpio, this is how this affects your oversoul embodiment, right? Scorpio reveals your truth. Aquarius lifts you into vision, lifts that truth into vision. Libra refines how you speak it. Ophiuchus powers you to act on it. Capricorn and Aquarius restructure your timeline. Everything today is asking you, will you live from the pattern of the past or the clarity of your oversoul? So what do you think your oversoul is? That's an open question for everybody here, because I'm curious. I like it. Right? Because I am curious. It's terminology that I'm using, and I'd like to know what each of you feel if you're feeling to connect to it, the Lord. Okay. Sorry, there's birds outside all the time. So the Oversoul is between you. Hi, Carol. How are you, love? It's so nice to see you. It's been a while. Come hang out. I'm usually online around, it would be 1 o'clock Mountain Time or 3 p.m. Eastern. I try to go live around that time, unless I'm doing something in town and I don't get back in time. Then I'll go live as soon as I can. I'm trying to go live Monday to Friday. So yeah, you're in Alberta. I'm in Alberta too. I just moved here. Hello. We should talk. We might not be that far from each other. You never know, but we could be a long way from each other too, because Alberta could be quite big. Oh yeah, we're not far. We're not far. Not far at all. Hi, Jax. Okay, so your Oversoul is you. It's the you beyond this incarnation, and it holds all of you from every fractal and every lifetime and every dimension. It has all of your knowledge, all of your information. It is the unique expression of God through you. That is your Oversoul. Because even when we return, we never lose our individuality. We always maintain our, like, I never stop being me, ever, ever. And my Oversoul holds all of that. So your Oversoul knows why you chose to incarnate, what you're here to do, what energy runs through your stream, what codes you carry in your DNA, what you're meant to express, and how you're meant to live. So if you connect to and listen to your Oversoul, then you will get the direction that is most aligned and harmonious with you as a soul and a human. Hello, Virgo Queen. Hi, Astral Being. I think that it'd be interesting to do your chart, Virgo, in True Sidereal. Yep. I do. Yeah, I got here at the beginning of November. I can't believe it's almost a month already. That Tuesday is a month that I've been here. But I've loved it. I love my house. I love the property that I have, all of that. I do. I believe that we are spirits, that we came here to embody our spirit into the physical form and live as we're meant to live, that we're living under a lot of distortions that are keeping us from living the way that we're supposed to live, and a lot of trauma from all of those distortions as well. We're seeing a lot of those structures start to fall and collapse because they're built on lies, right? That they always fall down. So yeah, I have some definitive beliefs for sure. I do believe that we are all spirits. Not all of us, I shouldn't say that. Some of us have actually chosen to disconnect, right? Through multiple choices, right? So there are some who have severed connection to their soul. That's how you can do really, really terrible things. It's not someone that is connected to a soul can do the things, right? Like, it's not just the mere depravity or the depth of the stuff that's being done that shows you that there's no soul. Right. When we look at, like polarity and division, a lot of people want to claim that, we have to live in this polarity, that you have to have, because we have good, we have to have evil. But that's not the opposite of good, right? And evil doesn't exist when we are connected to source. And I try to call it prime source because there's a lot of distortions out there, and even the God of the Bible is distorted. Right? All of the religious texts have been distorted, unfortunately, because they were run through the hand of man, and governments and kings and other people who had positions within governments touched them. And once you combine those things, or once you alter things, or once you stop, once you allow the stories to be altered, then it's no longer the truth, right? And that's happened. So no, I am not that for you, Anon. Not. I am not someone to be worshipped. I'm not somebody that's you want to go through your oversoul straight to prime source. Anything else would just be me being a false light trying to keep you looping to me. No, you want to be on your own for sure. But I'd love to help you guys all get to that spot where you're trusting yourself, you're connecting to the guidance that you have, and you're making decisions correctly, right? And then not to say that you're making bad decisions. It's not the case. We're making all the decisions are the right decisions for us to make at that time. Because if you make a decision that led you to an experience that wasn't a great experience, it's because there was some lesson that you needed to learn from that experience, right? There's always a reason why you went down that road, right? I got back together with my ex, who was a terrible person, and I knew he was a terrible person before I went back to him. But I was in a situation where I felt I didn't really have a choice, so I went back to him, and I still made a choice though. I was still a choice, and but that was definitely not me listening to probably my inner higher guidance. I was probably listening to the ego and the afraid, scared little part of me, right? That was fear was driving those decisions. So yeah. Hi, Judy. How are you, love? So yeah, so we're going to keep working on learning these things. We're going to keep talking about embodiment and Krystic principles, which is just like I said, it's the truth outside of dogma and religion and all of that stuff. So it's really related to the divine. Where are you in Canada? I'm in Alberta. I was in Ontario. I've lived in 3 of the provinces. I've lived in British Columbia at one point as well. But I've traveled coast to coast many times. Nice. Nice. I was there before. Interesting timing. Interesting timing. Yeah. So we'll keep talking about true sidereal and Krystic astrology. So we are going to look at where the planets actually are in the sky. Hello. We're going to look at where the planets actually are in the sky, and then we're going to unravel the distortions and all of that stuff that has been put into traditional astrology. We're going to work on just, figuring out exactly who and what we are and how we're meant to live and living as such. And that's how we're going to create the new earth, right? That's how we do it. He's so cute sleeping. So cute. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll talk more about the planets, where they are and how that's affecting us. And I'll give you some ways to connect to that. And we'll talk about Oversoul Embodiment some more as well. And if you're looking for anything between now and then, go check out my website, the Krystic Soul Stream readings or Synastry readings between you and another person. Those readings are not on my website yet. So definitely check that out. Numbers definitely have a lot of value to bring to stuff, and numerology is powerful. There's a lot of truths out there in a lot of different areas, whether we're looking at numerology or you're looking at sacred geometry. There's a lot of information that's been hidden from us that has kept us disconnected from our truth, right? Or allowing us to access different ways in which to live that would actually be more harmonious for us. So yeah, so we'll check in on those things. But go check out Anshara'El websites and all of my stuff, or go check out my other channels and join me. And if you have any questions, I have a free clarity call on my website, so you can go and check that out. But I'm going to head off because I have to walk my dog before dark. And even though it's not dark yet, I want to be back before dusk, because I have a lot of wild animals on my property. And hi, Beans. Okay, maybe I got a few seconds, unless you ran away. But I'll say hi to Beans before I go. How are you doing? Oh, much love, mwah. So much love. But I'll be back here tomorrow at about 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock, almost 3 o'clock here, and it's just, we're very overcast today, so it seems very dim already, and it gets dark around 4:30. I have coyotes and foxes and deer, and I think like at the back I saw moose prints. There's cat prints out there. There's, so there's lots of stuff out there. So therefore, because I am aware of this, I like to go. I carry a really loud whistle. Like I carry a survivor whistle. From like a whistle from a survival kit, so it's very piercing. So I'm not too worried about that. And I have a dog that's around 100 pounds, so he definitely keeps things away from me. Anything small, he'll chase after, for sure. But yeah, I'm pretty safe. But thank you, and thank you about that, Walter. I appreciate that. All right, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow at around 1, and we'll see what we end up getting up to tomorrow. But we'll see what the sky's all about, and we'll see what information we can't delve into, or practices that we can't do. But I love you guys, and have a great evening. Bye. Good night, guys.